Hey people,
I got y'all some gold here. I wanted to make this morning, but I had to go trim some trees from a friend. It's about the hardest I worked in a long time, so I had to come home and eat me an edible. So I might even slur my words a little bit. But this was the easiest part I've read yet. Everybody's going to get this. It's going to blow your mind. And I've seen some people can't handle the truth. I've been losing some subscribers in them last couple movies, but I've gained more than I lost. And this one here is definitely going to gain some subscribers. It's not my words, I'm just reading it straight from the Bible. I'm not sure what I'm going to call it yet. This means a couple different things, but what I'm not going to call it is meat he ate, because it don't mean that. This says crease the page. Crease the page in. And I imagine if you could find an old Greek Bible, there's probably a corner creased at this page. At Isaiah 44. Crease the page in, what it says right there. But it's also the Cree as the pagan. The Cree is the pagan. You know, it's talking about, they say it's talking about worshiping false gods here. And this word ate, you know, this is the fag-in. You see it on Genesis 3 when they ate of what they wasn't supposed to eat. That's the word, you know. And it's also the Cree. The Cree as, you know, the fag-in, the pagan. And what it doesn't say here is roasting. He roasted a roast. But in the last couple movies, they're all in this folder, in the Pyadora folder. And I read this whole chapter down to 15, I think. So this line 16 starts with this word of, O-V. And this is the first time I ever seen them get it right. Most of the time they say this word means no. You know, thou shalt not. The of and the okay and the ouch. And the ouch is the only one that actually means, you know, could mean not. You know, it's, hey, that's hot. Ouch. It's going to hurt. It doesn't mean thou shalt not. It means it's going to hurt if you do. And this is okay, and it's not, it's yes. And this is just of, and there's several different ways to spell of. And if you look up the definition of, it's all the different definitions. It could be OB, it could be AB, UV. There's many ways to spell of, and you break them down, you know, to see connected. And if you see something connected to something else, it's of that, you know, is what that means. But it doesn't mean no. None of these words mean no. This in fact means yes, okay. Okay, yeah, you can do it. And ouch says, yeah, do it if you want to, but it's gonna hurt. So they just give it a different category number. And you can see that it doesn't even belong in this category. It's OS and H or O. And they don't even have it in there. They just give it the category number to the meaning that they give it. And so this says, of to come issue, what of Kate causing? And so of to come, you know, the issue. Issue is your issue, or the issue at hand. You know, it means issue, I-S-S-U-E. And of to come issue, or what of Kate the causing. And so Kate is, you know, is where your word judicate come from. And it means, you know, to execute whatever, you know, we've been planning. You know, this is the execution of what the plan is. Of to come issue, what of Kate the causing, you know, C-A-U-S-E, then I-N. And to execute the cause in. You know, it means, you know, to beginning, to start doing what we've been talking about in these 15 lines above. And of to come issue, what of Kate causing? In fire. In the P-U-R-I, you know, or the F-U-R-I, or F-Y, you know, the U, sometimes they give it the Y, and that's what you get in there. And it's also where your word, you know, pure come from. But we'll see that down here without the final I. This is the pure. But it's actually, you know, closer to fury, F-U-R-Y, in fury, which is hot and fire. And in the fire, to upon, you know, E-P-I, and it's actually the fit of. not just upon, but the one that fits in. The fit of come issue whose. The come is whose, what of. Crease the page in. Crease the Cree as the pagan. Cree is the pagans. We fix to learn the pagan Cree. And it's where your word creed, credo's coming from, meaning the belief. It's coming from just the CRE, meaning the creed, the belief. It's the Cree as, the belief as the pagan. And then OFTHSAS. Of this as, of this in. Of this as, of this in. Opt on, OPTON. Of this as, of this in, optin. It's an option. It's where your word option come from. You don't have to, but you have the option, And of to come issue, what of the Kate the cause in fire, to upon, to commiss whose, commission, to coming from the Latin, the commission, the come with, sending, the commiss, sent. In the Navy, when you give somebody their commission, it comes with a duty. If you commission the captain and his ship, you're giving him control over that ship, the commission. Upon to the commiss whose, what of Cree as the Pagan, the pagan, the fagon. Increase the page, and you don't want to lose this page. Of this as, of this in, option. When applause thee and terminate his hyphen. And so you might read this as, W-E-N, when applause thee, applauseth. And he's getting this filled from, pletion. And there's an S in here. This isn't the word pleat. Complete. That's where filled comes from. But this actually turns into a V here. And so weave applause thee and terminate his hyphen. Determinate is, determine, determinate, and determine is hyphen. And hyphen means quotation marks, and he said. And so the terminate is, the last thing he said was, adieu, moi haughty. So long, my sister. The termination, we dawn. W-E-I-D-O-N, we adorn. To they dawn, to put on the pure. And so in the Hebrew, this was called Yeshua. In fact, it's actually closely confined to Jesus. The Y-O-S's was, as I command you, you shall do. Yasa, the Y-O-S and the E-U, and then the line up top says grab the S again. But, just reading the letters before all the markings, that was Yeshua. That was Jesus. Jesus was the pagan god. And over here in this, he eats, he roasts a roast and is satisfied. Yeah, this is the jackal of X-lax. I-X-L-E-X. Of the X-lax. This is where your word X-lax come from. X-lax was originally a suppository. He eats, roasts the roast. The jackal of X-lax lie. And that's what it's talking about. What got him kicked out of the garden was not eating, but was fagging. And the fagging of this as, or ass, of the sass, of this in, of this ass, of this in, opton. They decided to put it up your ass. And so Brian asked me, how do you lubricate, anoint your pineal gland? And I am old school, but I'm not that old school. I did not fag it. I broke my DMT down and smoked it. But, and that's the first thing that runs through my mind. If you stuck something up your ass, you're a fag. But, getting older, my mind started to open up. But no better ways to do it. Have to be some hard times. But yeah, that's where that word come from, Anybody who stuck something up their ass was a pagan. And some people pronounce that the faggin. And so you don't have to put things in your mouth to eat them. You can actually put things from the other end and your body will still digest that. And what you're doing is you're bypassing the cherry bomb that God put in your stomach. Here in Genesis 3, and Eve went and talked to the chronomatados, the friendliest guy in the garden. And he says, hey, I can teach you how to faggot. And you can fagest from the other end. And so God caught these faggots out there, after they had done opened their eyes. And he calls them a couple fags many times. And by the sweat of your face, you fag. And so he gave the fags some clothes and run them out the garden. And he placed a cherry bomb in the stomach. That's the MAO in your stomach that breaks off the oxygen group and kills the amine, it's in all the foods that you eat that would get you high. And so it's just it's a way to digest and bypass the cherry bomb. So if you ever try putting drugs in your ass, you a fag. We can still be friends though. The belief as the pagan of this in opt on their choice. And you can see more about this in the broom ride folder. And it was the same thing. And they don pure to the loafon, the poison. To the loafon, when you're loafing, what you're doing, you're sitting on your ass. To the loafon, the poison. And his, H-I-S, Sion. And so, the on, is the light, but it's the angle, the O-N-G-L, the angle up to on. In the last movie or two ago, I was talking before about, they were talking about how they were cutting these angles in a tree to extract it. So I guess it's probably where your word angel come from. You're walking in the woods and your kid says, "What's that?" You don't want to have to explain it. So you tell them that's where an angel was in the woods and left his mark. And they'll keep, running these up as it dries up. They'll move it up the tree. The angle, Welsh, the angle, corner, remote area. And so it looks like that's where the word, a glyph come from. And it originated from the angle, upped on, the carved. The angle you carved in the tree to extract the poison. To the bud on, the poison is the angle upped on. The angle upped it. The angle upped on. And comped they and receive from the angle upped on comped they of two and proscune. And we can just take that and put it in Google search and we can see it come up. You check the spellings, make sure it's the same, and just hit translator and it'll tell you that it means to worship or prostrate, to prostrate, worshiping. And worshiping prostrate style, that's lying down, stretched out on the ground with your face downward. And we learn the Pagan Crease. And the do moi haughty, the terminate on, and they dawn pure. They dawn pure, got naked, and to the loaf on, the poison his, the on glyphed on. And so, Theon is the light god, glyphed. That's also Ra. And the poison is the light glyphed on. And so, in the Hebrew, it'll give us the angel name, and here it'll give us the angel meaning, and it's the angel of Upton Compt they. And in the Hebrew, it'll give us the name of that God. When we get there, just read it, and the Alahim will be read backwards. And that's why all your angels are named Mael. It's just God backwards in Hebrew. And so, the light, the light glyphed on, that's also Ra. It's Ra and it's Aten. He's the creator of the universe, regarded as a sun god represented by the sun's disk. And that became Aten Ra. That was the Aten with the Akhenaten. It's the R10 here, the creator, the giver in the Hebrew. That's the R10. That's what that represents, is the R10. Or it might be seen as the eye of Ra. And you got a black eye and you got a white eye, brown eye. To the Lophon, the poison is the on, the light glyphed on. Compt they what to, and prostrate. And this key is just a Vav, U-V-W, and it's reading here up, in uprose, which the tail legend, excel of me, goes ahead of me. And this Adi, I say sister because that's the way they read it in the Hebrew. And the sister's legend ahead of me was the eye of Isis. They used to put the drugs in the vagina until they found out that the eye of Horus worked better. But you can see the meaning better in the Septuagint. You see which way this mark's turned. When you're reading it, it's the at and then backwards, at it, O-T-I-T, at it, the O's move. And then with this mark here, you see this was E-Y-E, the eyes too. And those move eyes too. So if we put it all together, there's a good chance it could be making fun of somebody's speech. And of to come his Vot, the Vot of, as in a German would be saying what of. But a Vot, a V-A-U-T is also, a row to be planted, crevice, a Vot of to come is Vot of, the Kate is causing, and start the cause in fury. The fit of, come his, your commission, it's come his of Zatu, the Cree as the pagan, of this as, of this in, and you might read that as often, of the option, when applause thee, and terminate his hyphen, his word, ado my haughty, the termination, and they dawn pure, to the Lophon the poison, his the angel upped on, compt they what to, and for skine, and proskine, which you asked in the air, uprose, which a tail edge on, excel of me, at it whose move eyes to. And so you see they changed this tale in the Septuagint, the force to which the tale legend, a story of legend. And this gives you a clue here that it's going to have this apostrophe here, and it changes up, due to here. It's for so at what a legend, and then it reads backwards, the volts, V-O-L-E-T-S, the volts, that was the German pagans, the volts excel of, the ones that came before me, at it those move eyes of. And when you read it in the Hebrew with the directional markings, reading the words backwards, it's talking about Selene. Selene was the god of, the wisdom of the moon. And I believe that's what this represents, is the wisdom, coming from the moon. And I say that because these people look like the kind of freaks that didn't go out during the day. And that's what it appears to be through the rest of the Bible is, the Greek is the book of the sun, and the Hebrew is the book of the moon. Alright, I'm going to read on some more, and see if I can read some more of this, or go to the Hebrew. But I'm going to cut this off here. Good day.